So thank you very much for joining us. Now, you've suggested a way for communities, the private sector, to work together to create a new economy around liquor and bread. Tell me more.
Evening, Sally. As you said, Winston Churchill's favorite line is, never let a good crisis go to waste. And I think, on the back of what our president had called for, in terms of this new economy we're moving towards, and that social compacting ought to be the order of the day. And in essence now is that if we ask enough questions, we certainly will start to migrate towards the right kind of answers around what an inclusive economy is for South Africa. And so I think one of the opportunities then that I said there is that we understand that beer, for example, is used in a lot of actually goods and consumption goods, particularly, for example, in some of the sources that we see on stores, and specifically bread. We understand bread is the second most important staple bread in the economy, and so we could look at ways in which we socially compact, the beer sellers, the companies, the big bread companies who've got, the technology on bread making, as well as government, to look at the ways in which we incentivize this partnership to ensure that we've got an offtake agreement for the beer that's currently not being sold, but that's going into then the bread that would then be sold back into the economy, the communities, particularly at cheaper prices, because those facilities would be moved into a local economy context.
It sounds like a great idea, but perhaps a long-term idea. We know that beer has a shelf life of, I think, around 3 months or so. Is your suggestion something that could provide a solution for tavern owners right now who are sitting possibly with stocks that are either going to be looted or will go off in a few months?
No, well, I mean, it's actually quicker than one would think. And so I think so on the one side, we're talking around the capacity building in community. And so it's building a factory, for example, for making bread in a longer term context. But 70% of the bread market is controlled by 4 companies right now. And so they certainly already could be coming to the party in taking that beer supply that's currently in the market already and using that to make the bread that could then go back into these communities. And so that's certainly something that could be done as of right now because bread is currently being consumed. But I think, we always have to talk around also an economy post-COVID and around how we look at opportunities to build capacity in the context of the economy. And I think that's one of the ways in which we could look at now bolstering the township economy with building productive capacity in community.
Sifiso, have you spoken to any of the big 4 bakeries, Pioneer Foods, Tiger Brands, Premier Foods or Food Corp? And if so, have they responded to you? Have they taken up your idea? Are they planning to?
No, I certainly haven't had a chance to speak to them. I released that thought piece earlier on today, but it's certainly, I think, an idea worth exploring. And I think it certainly contextualizes to a whole lot of other sectors in the economy that we could look at ways in which we start to explore ways in which we bolster the township economy and to make sure that people don't move as far out in order to get economically active, for example, like call centers, and how do we move call centers closer to the places where people live. And so it's certainly, I think, I would love absolutely the call from the likes of Tiger Brands to get in touch and see how we can help them accelerate this kind of initiative that would certainly have important benefits for their communities.
It's a great thought and out-the-box thinking, which is, I think, what we need to get out of this crisis and also change so many mistakes made in our past so that our township economy can be properly supported. Thank you so much for your thoughts there. That was IQ Business Chief Economist Sifiso Skenjana.